And so this is where it ends. Survival. Survival feels different being the final serial rather than the penultimate. This season was initially meant to be aired in the order of Fenric, Battlefield, Survival, and Ghostlight. Firstly, Curse of Fenric works better as after Ghostlight as far as Ace's plot is concerned, and secondly, Survival's themes seem less poignant when placed as another entry in the season rather than the final statement that the classic show ever made. Its commentary on Darwinian evolution and survival of the fittest, a decent companion piece to Ghostlight as a result, make for a decent final serial thematic subjects, as would Ghostlight to some extent, although regardless of whether it was the final serial or second from the final, Survival is rather far from perfect. In execution, Survival is just sloppy. The realization of the cheetah people must have seemed odd then, and now it just reminds one of some very odd hobbyists. The scripts are okay, but even the screenwriter Rona Munro was not pleased with how the cheetahs would look in the finished product. The master feels somewhat neutered, and yet it is also a fitting fate for him. Maybe if the cheetah people seemed more menacing, it would feel more apt. But I also do like the idea of the master becoming obsessed with his own aggression, predation, and survival to make him easy, even as an all-powerful Time Lord renegade, to fall under that planet or dimension's unusual spell. The logic of the world isn't clear to me. I looked it up, I still don't get it. Why does the Doctor disappear when the Master attacks him? What is the logic between hopping between worlds? Why is Ace not going to be a cheetah person from now on? There's a lot that falls apart when you try to piece it together. Maybe it is secretly coherent and I missed all the details. I'm willing to accept this as well, because why bloody not? I don't love Survival, but I do like it to some extent. Some of the execution, where the suburban Perivale setting is concerned, creepy black cats, exteriors with no one around, that believable and appropriately nasty youth gym instructor chap. The cheetahs are creepy within their own right, just not as warrior people which can corral the mighty master, that's all. Some of the production is neat. A lot of the direction feels a bit naff. As the final story ever... Man, I love the idea that this was intended as the final one, and where, or those of us who criticize it, are just stupid to see why this is the perfect intended ending for Doctor Who. Its own all good things, like for Star Trek TNG, and not just a dull throwaway turnabout intruder. I am sad this was McCoy's only encounter with the Master. Given the nature of his Doctor, he may have been the best suited to dealing with the Master, or at least the most entertaining foe. The way he attempts to outmaneuver and outwit the likes of the Rani, Davros, and the Supreme Dalek, Helen A, Lady Painfort, the Cybermen, Morgaine, Josiah Smith, and/or Light, and Fenric, the Master would have been an ideally entertaining foe for McCoy's Seventh Doctor. Or perhaps the Master was aware of this and tried to stay away as much as possible from his very intimidating nemesis. Why do I love classic Doctor Who? I love the production values, I love the garage DIY ethos, I love the ambitious scripts, the captivating lead performers, the development of the series genre enthusiasm, how expressionistic the sets and costumes are compared with the large cosmic phenomena they are meant to be representing, and I love how it meets B-movie filmmaking halfway with audacious science fiction literature and speculative fiction at large, aware but not entirely afraid of meeting what a more limitless imaginative medium, prose fiction, comic books, or just daydreaming, can do incredibly easily, or much easier, and yet somehow, in spite of or due to, oddly enough, its limitations, it had a more grounded, lucid imagination and felt more tangibly ambitious to viewers from the comparable, loose, infinitesimally imaginative literature, comics, or animation, or even the new show with its abundant CGI. Because when one is presented with limitations, the imagination works harder, but also can be appreciated more so because it has to be controlled, maintained, and presented, filtered via such a format. The imagination is more potent when it has to contend with restrictions rather than feeling more vivid and fresh with no creative barriers. It is paradoxical, but Doctor Who's classic run heavily implies that this is the case where human art and media is concerned.